Hi guys, welcome to another hero guide here in the Void MLA channel. In today's episode, we are going to look at the latest hero, Oberon. Now, Oberon is an older hero and an inquisitor who uses light equipment, so let's take a look at his skills. With his ultimate, Oberon deals damage to the enemies around him, and each time he uses his ultimate, he will activate one of his 3 swords. And what happens is, the next time he uses his ultimate, it will additionally produce some effects based on which sword is activated. So for example, when the first sword is activated, the enemies that were hit will permanently take extra damage. When the second sword is activated, their healing effects will also be permanently reduced, and activating the third sword will reduce the damage dealt by those enemies. Now the last thing to note here is that if he uses his ultimate when all 3 swords are activated, he will deactivate all of them, but before he does, if the enemies hit have a max HP less than 3 times Oberon's max HP, they will be killed instantly. Those enemies that have a higher HP will receive damage equal to 3 times Oberon's max HP instead. With this skill, he will deal damage to enemies in a small area in front of him, and he will deal extra damage for each sword that is activated. Additionally, each enemy hit will restore his energy by 100 points as well. Next, this skill involves Dorothy, who is the little girl you see with him. She will target the enemy furthest away from Oberon, deal damage to them while also pulling them in. Additionally, the enemies that get pulled in will temporarily have their defense reduced by 30%. This skill, however, can only be triggered once every 10 seconds. Finally, we have his passive, which tells us that each time he activates one of his swords, or if he loses 75% of his max HP, Dorothy will remove most control effects on him and open this shield that you see here, and the strength of the shield will depend on his lost HP. Also, depending on the swords that are activated, he will temporarily gain a few buffs. The first sword converts the damage he deals into his shield. The second one will increase critical rate by 50%, and the third one makes him immune to most control effects. Moving on to his soul vessels, the basic one tells us that every time this skill deals damage, he will recover some amount of HP. At level 10, he will activate the first sword as soon as the battle starts. Level 20 is the same as the basic one, but just that the HP recovery rate is doubled. At level 30, he will also be immune to most control effects for 10 seconds after the battle begins. Lastly, we can look at his Orlay skills. The first one helps him again to recover HP each time he activates a sword. The second and third skills are about his ultimate. Normally, using the ultimate with 3 activated swords would deactivate all of them at the end of it, but with these, the first 2 swords will continue to remain activated. So that was a quick guide to the new Primal Zone hero and his AoE skills and ability to reduce the enemy's healing effects. Look like they might work well with heroes such as Apostate and Anna. Also, his immunity to most control effects might help in countering players who use the Lunox Char strategy in their arena teams. Alright, so thank you for watching another one of my hero guides. I hope you found it useful as always, and I will see you in the next episode.